The justice system is designed to be a mirror reflecting truth and fairness. But what happens when the mirror is cracked? When the reflection is distorted? This is the story of Dennis Perry, a man who stared into that cracked mirror for over 2 decades. He saw only his wrongful conviction reflected back at him. He lived a nightmare because the system designed to protect failed him. Our justice system is not perfect, it is human, and humans make mistakes. Sometimes these mistakes have devastating consequences. Innocent people are convicted, lives are shattered. Dennis Perry's case is a stark reminder of the human cost of these failures. It highlights the urgent need for reform and the importance of fighting for those who have been wrongly accused. The pursuit of justice is a noble but arduous journey. It demands unwavering commitment and courage. For those like Dennis Perry, who find themselves ensnared in a web of injustice, hope can seem like a distant flicker. Yet even in the darkest of times, the human spirit, much like a flickering candle in the wind, refuses to be extinguished. 1985, small-town Georgia. The community is shaken to its core by a horrific crime. Harold and Thelma Swain, beloved members of their church, were found murdered. The brutality of the act sent shockwaves through the community. It left everyone grappling for answers. Who could commit such a heinous act? Whispers turned into rumors as the investigation began. Fear gripped the town. The authorities were under immense pressure to find the perpetrator and bring them to justice. Eyewitnesses came forward, offering glimpses of the suspect. They described a black man, but their accounts were vague and sometimes contradictory. The investigation dragged on, each passing day deepening the community's wounds. The Swains, known for their kindness and generosity, deserved justice. Their loved ones deserved closure. The pressure to solve the case mounted, leading to a rush to judgment that would have devastating consequences. Dennis Perry, a young black man living in the area, became a person of interest. Despite having no prior criminal record and maintaining his innocence, he was caught in the crosshairs of a flawed investigation. The eyewitness testimonies, though unreliable and conflicting, were used against him. The investigation focused on Dennis, ignoring other leads. His trial was a travesty of justice. The defense's attempts to highlight the inconsistencies in the eyewitness accounts and the lack of concrete evidence fell on deaf ears. The jury, swayed by the prosecution's narrative and influenced by the community's desire for a conviction, found Dennis Perry guilty. He was sentenced to life in prison for a crime he did not commit. The verdict sent shockwaves through Dennis's family and loved ones. They knew he was innocent, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. The justice system had failed them. It had condemned an innocent man to a life behind bars, a fate far worse than death itself. Despite the crushing blow, they never gave up hope. They knew in their hearts that one day the truth would prevail. Prison is a harsh reality, even more so when you're innocent. Every day becomes a struggle for survival, a testament to the indomitable human spirit. Dennis Perry's life behind bars was a constant battle against despair. The weight of his wrongful conviction pressed down on him. Yet he never allowed himself to be completely consumed by the darkness. He clung to the unwavering love and support of his family. They were his lifeline, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. Their letters and visits were the only solace in his otherwise bleak existence. Driven by an unyielding belief in his innocence, Dennis refused to let his spirit be broken. He spent countless hours in the prison library, educating himself about the law and researching cases similar to his own. He wrote letters to various organizations, desperately seeking help. Years turned into decades, but Dennis never gave up hope. He knew that somewhere out there, someone would listen to his story and help him fight for the justice he deserved. Section 5. A Glimmer of Hope, the Georgia Innocence Project. In the labyrinth of the justice system, the Georgia Innocence Project stands as a beacon of hope for the wrongly convicted. Staffed with dedicated attorneys and passionate advocates, they fight tirelessly to right the wrongs inflicted upon the innocent. For Dennis Perry, they became a lifeline. They offered a glimmer of hope in the face of despair. The Georgia Innocence Project received a letter from Dennis Perry, a desperate plea for help from a man who had already spent decades behind bars for a crime he didn't commit. Intrigued by his case, they decided to investigate. They saw a man failed by the system, a man deserving of a second chance. They pored over the trial transcripts, meticulously reviewing every piece of evidence and scrutinizing witness testimonies. The team at the Georgia Innocence Project recognized the glaring flaws in the original investigation and trial. They were determined to uncover the truth, no matter how long it took. They were prepared to fight tooth and nail to clear Dennis Perry's name. Section 6. DNA evidence, the key to freedom. In 2018, more than 3 decades after the murders, the Georgia Innocence Project, in collaboration with the law firm King & Spalding, launched a full-scale reinvestigation. They sought out new leads, re-interviewed witnesses, and most importantly sought access to DNA evidence that had been unavailable during the original trial. Technology had advanced, offering new hope for uncovering the truth. The results were undeniable. The DNA evidence, meticulously preserved, revealed a shocking truth. It conclusively excluded Dennis Perry as the perpetrator of the crime. The DNA pointed to another man, a man who had been overlooked in the initial investigation. The truth, buried for so long, had finally come to light. The evidence was overwhelming. It shattered the prosecution's case and left no doubt about Dennis Perry's innocence. The years of tireless work by the Georgia Innocence Project had paid off. They had not only secured the freedom of an innocent man, but also exposed the flaws in a system that had failed him so profoundly. Section 7. Justice Prevails, a joyous reunion. The courtroom was filled with a mix of anticipation and anxiety. After 32 long years, the moment of truth had arrived. The judge, acknowledging the irrefutable DNA evidence, vacated Dennis Perry's conviction. A collective gasp swept through the courtroom as the words, "You are free to go," echoed through the hallowed halls. It was a moment charged with emotion, a testament to the power of perseverance and the pursuit of justice. For Dennis, it was an overwhelming experience. Decades of his life had been stolen. He emerged from the courthouse a free man, greeted by the cheers of his family and the smiles of the legal team who had fought so hard for him. The years of anguish and despair melted away, replaced by tears of joy and relief. He was finally free. His reunion with his family was a moment etched in their hearts forever. The embrace of his loved ones, the warmth of their love, washed away the pain of his wrongful imprisonment. It was a new beginning, a chance to rebuild a life shattered by decades of injustice. It was a testament to the enduring power of family and the belief in a brighter future. Section 8. Rebuilding a life after decades of wrongful imprisonment. Freedom, once a distant dream, was now his reality. Yet the journey to rebuild his life was just beginning. Dennis Perry had entered prison as a young man and emerged decades later, robbed of his prime years. The world outside had changed drastically. Adjusting to this new life, filled with unfamiliar technology and a society that had moved on without him, was a challenge. Despite the difficulties, he faced his newfound freedom with remarkable resilience. The love of his family provided an anchor, a source of strength as he navigated this unfamiliar territory. He was determined to make the most of the time he had left. He wanted to experience the simple joys of life he had been denied for so long: a sunrise, a walk in the park, a meal shared with loved ones. His story resonated with people across the nation. Support poured in from strangers who had been touched by his plight. Organizations dedicated to helping the wrongfully convicted offered guidance and resources. Dennis Perry's case became a symbol of hope, a testament to the belief that even in the darkest of times, justice can prevail. Section 9. A testament to hope and the pursuit of justice. Dennis Perry's story is a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of fighting for justice, even when the odds are stacked against you. It highlights the flaws in our justice system and the devastating consequences of wrongful convictions. But it is also a story of hope, of redemption, and the unwavering love of family. Organizations like the Georgia Innocence Project are doing incredible work, fighting tirelessly to free the innocent and reform a system that often fails the most vulnerable among us. They are a beacon of hope in a world where justice is too often elusive. Their dedication and commitment to truth inspire us all to fight for a more just and equitable society. We must continue to support these organizations and advocate for reforms that will prevent wrongful convictions from happening. We must work together to ensure that everyone, regardless of race, socioeconomic background, or circumstance, has equal access to a fair and just legal system. The fight for justice is a marathon, not a sprint. Let Dennis Perry's story serve as a reminder that the pursuit of justice is a fight worth fighting, a fight that requires our unwavering commitment and collective action.